What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. This is Jose Trujillo, the world's greatest living artist. It was a little chilly this morning, so I had to go get a little sweater. Hope everybody's doing good this morning. Let's see. Let me wave at people, man. I'm gonna wave at you. Consider yourself waved at. Mimi Arts Studio. Arts Studio. I like that name. Yeah. This is Jose Trujillo, the world's greatest living artist. Dude, that's the name that suits me. I think any other name would not fit me correctly. Anyways, what's up? How's it going? So every day I show up here, I kind of just hang out, shoot the shit every morning. One way or another, I'm hanging out here and I talk to people. I talk to artists. I try to get some feedback, and I try to give something of whatever I've learned or how my day is going. Usually I record my day. I record my journey, so I start out early and just kind of start talking about being an artist and that type of deal. I placed an order for a coffee, so I'm gonna be waiting for a coffee to arrive in a little bit. How's it going, Marlena? Marlena Berra Art. Buenos dias, Marlena. Yeah, so just kind of kicking it here. Before I get my day started, I'm here in my studio. Those of you who don't know, I'm an artist, and again, I show up just about every day. Just about. Some days I'm like, I don't want to do nothing, but most of the time I show up and I share things that I've learned as an artist, and some of those things are they're pretty valuable to me. You know, it doesn't mean they're valuable to other people, but they're pretty valuable to me. Some things such as you know, go out there and do your work, market, show up to paint, that type of deal, you know. A lot of people confuse it, I think, with like hustle. They talk about hustle. They're like, yeah, I gotta be hustling. I don't really like that word. I don't like the word hustle. I think it has like negative connotations. I think. I feel like it's like I don't know, whatever. I just don't like it. I think it means that you're in a hurry, and I'm not in a hurry. You know. Let's see. Mimi says, tell us more about marketing. I paint every single day, but don't sell much. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the question is what are you doing? Are you doing anything to get people to see your work? And by the way, anything that you do is good. It doesn't matter what it is. We live in a world where all you really have to do is show up and show people what you're doing. If you paint every day, one mistake that we do as artists is that we try to market to everybody, right? We're trying to show everybody in hopes that everybody buys, but that's not really how it works. I think you do have to show it to everybody, but only talk to the people that raise their hand. How's it going, Mr. Schmaltz? Only talk to the people that raise their hand. And who is that? This could be, I don't know, you make a painting, right? Let's say, Mimi, you make a painting and you put it out there on Facebook or Instagram. And then you get some people saying, oh my God, it's such a nice painting. Well, you want to continue the conversation with those people, not because you're trying to sell them something, but because you want them because they already raised their hand and they say they like what you do. This is so important. It's so important to talk to people who like what you do. A lot of people out there are constantly trying to get new converts. You know, buenos dias, Jessica. Good morning, Brian. They're trying to get new converts, and I think that's good. You know, try to get new people to buy into your ideas, into your artwork. But I think that what is most important is talk to the people that already bought into your ideas. Talk to the people that already bought into your artwork. Talk to the people that like what you're doing, and reinforce that over and over. Get back to those people. So how do you do that? I know it sounds a little bit abstract. How do you do that? Very simple. All you have to do is just keep showing up in the same area over and over and over again, and keep communication. Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, any of the social media platforms, it doesn't matter that it's YouTube. Mimi says that makes sense. Get to know your audience. Well, yeah, because even if it's 20 people, even if it's 20 people, you'd be surprised if it's 20 people and you get back to them constantly and you communicate with them and you have this constant communication with them. These 20 people are the ones who are going to help you get the fire started. Those are the people, as opposed to trying to market to every single human being on planet Earth, which is not only impossible, it's very expensive. It's very expensive, time consuming, resources. It's very, very expensive. I'd rather talk to a group of people on Facebook or Instagram that like what I'm doing than going. This is if I were starting all over again, right? Then going and spending, I don't know, a few $100s or a few $1,000s on Facebook ads, because if I do that, it doesn't mean it's not good, but if I do that, I'm starting from zero. When you spend ads, when you do art shows, every time you're looking for a new crowd, you're starting from zero. There is no rapport, there's no communication happening. They could raise their hand and say they like it, but it doesn't mean anything, because it's not a. People tend to we as human beings, we tend to value that which is that which we know, something that we know. The reason why you love your kids so much is because you saw them grow up. They're there with you. The reason why yes, they're your kids, but there's something to the fact that you are used to looking at them every single day or all the time. Your spouse, the same way. We value those things that are repetitive to us. That you value the show you watch over and over and over on TV or whatever, on Netflix. You value the coffee you always drink. I don't do Starbucks. I do this Nescafe thing or whatever. That's my coffee because my daddy drank that, and his daddy drank that, and I drink that, and that's my coffee. You value things that are repetitive. The things that are I forgot what the word is, anyways. But I hope you know what I'm talking about. And so if you are not repetitive with your audience, they won't value you. If you're not repetitive, you don't show up over and over and over again. It's the same thing with dating. I remember when I was younger, we used to joke around. We're like, how did this ugly motherfucker ended up with this beautiful young girl over here? How did that happen? Well, the guy took interest. He was there every single time. Hey, let's go to the movies. Hey, I'll invite you to a coffee. Da 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 da. They're reinforced, right? It's reinforced. Let's go out. No. I don't date your type. You're not my type. No, come on, let's go out. No, I don't know it. No, I don't want to date you. And then the person's there. It's reinforcing. Right? The person's reinforcing. This is how those things happen. This is how you end up with what you want. You reinforce it. It doesn't mean that you force your way in there. No, you just keep showing up. You keep showing up until the unfamiliar becomes familiar. Once the unfamiliar becomes familiar, then people are going to be like, they're going to start looking at the positive aspects of you, whether it's your artwork, whether it's your story. People are going to start looking at the positive aspects. The same thing with your artwork. If you keep showing up and you reinforce that, as Amy put it here, people are going to start saying, oh man, I love listening to such and such artists, or I love looking at their work, or I love their blog, or whatever. Why? Because I read it more than a few times. I read it. It kept showing up. And so it's all about it's all about making the unfamiliar familiar. And this doesn't have to be millions of people. It doesn't have to be thousands of people. It could be hundreds of people, or it could be dozens of people. When you're first starting out, it doesn't have to be more than 5 people, 2, 3, 5 people. All you got to do is just keep reinforcing that and become familiar with them, so that they help you spread the message to people that think like them, or people that like things like them. Someone who likes impressionism or likes expressionist paintings or original artwork is going to tell someone else who likes original artwork, I know this artist, oh my god, I swear by him, I've been listening to him, I've been watching his blogs, or I've been looking at their paintings, and da 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 da, you got to go check this artist out. And then this person brings the other person in along. This doesn't mean that they're going to become your die-hard collectors or anything like that. No, it means that they're helping you bring in people into your center, into your group. Pink Art Galore says, I love your artwork on love, power, and greed. Oh, I love that. Yeah, and so this is how I've learned to do it. It's easy to think that if I make something very original, or if I create something that people are going to fall in love with, all things are going to work out for me. And you know, as artists, I think it's easy to think that if I just paint something and wow people, but that hasn't been my experience. My experience is the artist that, yes, you do your best work, but you show up day in and day out. And you show up, and you don't just show up with your artwork. A lot of artists out there just show up with their artwork. I think we live in a world where you don't just show up with your artwork. You do things like this, you know, whether it's a live, it's a video, or it's social media, whatever it is, or it's sending out a thank you note to a past customer or collector, picking up the phone and saying thank you to someone. We don't do that anymore. We never do that anymore. Right? Pick up the phone, or send a DM to someone here on Instagram and say, you know what, I was thinking about you and I hope you're having a great day. Something as simple as that. How's it going, Alicia? Why wouldn't you do that as an artist? If you're an artist who focuses on selling artwork, chances are you might sell some artwork, but the people are not going to connect with you. What matters is that people connect with you. We are in a connecting. We are in this society is about connection. This is why social media has been such a big deal. Society is about connecting. We connect through story, you know, mainly through story. I'm not an anthropologist, but you don't have to be an anthropologist to know this. You just have to read a book on any of those subjects. Society has connected for millennia, right? Thousands of years, through word, right? We've connected through word. We haven't been connected through writing. Writing is new. Print is very new, by the way. A lot of people write, and that's good. That's a great way to connect, people that make books and whatnot. But originally, we've connected for thousands of years. It's an auditory connection. It's been an auditory connection. It hasn't even been visual. It's been auditory. We've connected through an oral tradition, right? It's what it's called, the oral tradition. We told stories over and over and over and over, and this is how we connect. This is how human beings connect. We've connected like this for thousands and thousands of years, and it hasn't been until recently, since the printing press was invented. What is it, 600 years ago, something like that? I don't know. That we started printing things out, you know, such as the things that we see online or whatnot. Lately, the connection has been video. The medium has been video. But it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you connect through story, right? Doesn't matter if it's you're talking, if it's an auditory connection, you're still focused on oral tradition. I like to do that. I personally like to do that, because I think I think it's a very strong one. I don't know if it'll mean anything at some point, but I think it's a very strong connection. And people do it different ways. You know, some people write blogs, some people. But if you're just showing up with your artwork, you're not connecting. You need to show up. You need to show up with story. Artwork is not always story. And this is what a lot of artists get wrong. They show up, they're like, I'm showing up, Jose, I'm showing up every day. Artwork is not story. And if you're just showing up with your artwork, you may sell artwork here and there, you may be selling artwork, but you're not creating a connection. The connection is really what matters. The connection is what matters. I drink Starbucks, right? Because my friends drink Starbucks, because my wife drinks Starbucks, because it's this thing that we do, right? It's like Seth Godin says, people like us do things like this. I don't know. I read certain books because this is what we do. Chanel, how's it going? Chanel's 100% correct. Include your process, right? You got to include your process. And what is your process? Well, everybody has a different process. Everybody has a different way to that they create or they go about, and it's not just the hands-on, right? It's your thinking process too. It could be your thinking process. I when I paint, I go into this space or I think about this, and then you know, I love lattes, Starbucks, yeah. Because it's got nothing to do with the coffee. This is what I'm trying to say, right? That nobody wears brands like Puma and Nike. It's got nothing to do with that. People say, oh, it's because it's better quality. That's not true. There's tons of better quality of everything out there. That if you think that you're going to sell paintings because you paint so well, you're very confused. There's tons of artists who paint so well, and it means nothing because they never connect with the audience. The connectivity, that connection that you have with the audience, it's everything. And so, again, going back to number one, I'm going to call it zero. Going back to zero, where I started this video, the way that we connect is we make the unfamiliar familiar. You got to make the unfamiliar familiar. You are unfamiliar to the marketplace, right? You may be familiar to your marketplace. It could be a small group of people, it could be a few people, a few hundred, a few dozen people, it doesn't matter. But if you don't become familiar with them to the point where they're thinking about you, they miss you when you don't show up, they're repeating your phrases, right? They're repeating your phrases. If people ain't saying things like je ne sais quoi, if people ain't saying things like I'm the world's greatest living artist, if people ain't saying those things, I have not done my job. People, because we connect through story. We connect through story. If people aren't saying if people aren't being part of your journey, you know, then why would I join you? The only way I would join you is if I get something out of going into that journey with you. I don't want to join you as an artist, as a person who loves artwork. I don't want to join you if I'm not getting anything out of it. If all you do is make good paintings, you know, good for you. Everybody makes good paintings. You ever visited an art class? Any art class? Any I don't know, where they give MFAs? Yeah, everybody paints well. Everybody draws well. Thousands upon thousands, millions of people. It's got nothing to do with it. It's the connection and stuff. Yeah, Alicia and stuff. The old artists connected after they were dead. Yeah. Well, because the thing is, this has been tradition with artists that we connect after we pass, because then people want to lift those stories. But we don't have to do that today. We don't have to do that. Certainly, there is more power in that, because we like to romanticize those things, those events, those people that are no longer there, right? We romanticize that because we remember them differently, or we make them our own. When people look at a Van Gogh exhibit or whatever, you make it your own, right? Van Gogh is no longer Van Gogh. Van Gogh belongs to the collective psyche. Let me go let me go get my coffee. Van Gogh doesn't belong to Van Gogh anymore. Van Gogh is part of the collective, and so there's no such thing as. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you. For that. And so, if this is a thing that is happening, how do we connect before we pass? How do we connect? If people aren't showing up for you because of you, you haven't connected yet. If people are showing up for you because of your artwork, you'll make a living. If people show up with you because of your artwork, you'll make a living. If people show up for you because of the story that you bring to the table, you could tilt the world a little bit. You could put a ding on the world, like who said that? Steve Jobs. You could put a ding on the world if people show up. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. My wife called me on the other line. Storytelling has to be two ways. The old artists didn't have tech connections. No, because it's not about any of that. It's just that those are the mediums. This is the medium today, where an old artist had to wait many years to begin connecting with people. Back in the day, they had to wait a lot, and if they didn't wait a lot, they had to create something that was going to be that was going to stand, the test of time, sort of like the Sistine Chapel or a David, a Pieta, any of those large paintings created in the Rococo or the Baroque or the Neoclassicism era. It doesn't matter. We don't live in that world anymore. That world is long gone. The world of just create the artwork and let the artwork speak for itself, that world is gone. Because we're in a super interconnected world. Where it used to be that if you heard of someone, if you would hear about some Diego Rivera or Sam de la Croix, it would be through letters that were carried on horseback, or mules, and you wouldn't hear till later, and then you would have to sit there and read about it and whatnot, and it would take time, is what I'm saying. It would take time. Today, it's not like that anymore. Today, you can connect directly with people, and again, if you are connecting because you want to sell something, okay, you may very well sell, but you're going to lose the trust of the people who are connecting with you. This goes beyond selling something. I mean this. This goes beyond selling something. Will people buy? Of course they will buy. They will support you. They will tell others. They will buy your trinkets. They will buy your little paintings or whatever you sell. But this goes beyond that. The main thing is the connection. That it's the same thing with an actor, right? They want to sell movie tickets. Yeah, but you don't see Leonardo DiCaprio standing outside trying to sell movie tickets, connecting with people. No, he connects through the artwork, right? He connects through the artwork with people. It's a connection with people. The actors are very interesting that way because they're able to connect very directly because they're using their bodies. Actors, dancers, musicians, they're able to connect that way. Painters, photographers is a little trickier. It's a little trickier because you're not using your body. You are using your body to create your artwork, but you're not really using your body for the connection. And so it's trickier that way. It just is. Let's see. Let's see. Acernice says, Acernice, ideas or feelings you are promoting, which one is or should be more important for an artist? I believe that for an artist, what what is most important is that you need to show up and create your work and have a constant communication with those who are looking at your work. Have a constant communication. Again, make the unfamiliar familiar. The reality is that everybody has a story to tell. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has a story to tell. But most artists are not telling it because you're focused on the product. Again, a musician, the song is not the product. It looks like it's the product, but it's not, because it's a performance, right? It's a performance. So they connect through that performance. But a painter, it's slightly different. And especially painters today, or sculptors, photographers, artists who do mixed media, whatever, they focus on the packaging of the art piece, the price points, how is it going to look like, and all of that is important. It's part of your brand. It's good. But if you have the audacity to lose or to miss the human connection with people, that the reason why we love Frida is not because of her paintings. She was actually a pretty shitty artist. It's not because of her paintings. The reason why we love Frida is because we love her story, right? That's the story. It's the story. The reason why we love Van Gogh too. Van Gogh lacked a lot of academic, strength in his work. It lacked a lot of academic strength. Compositions, a lot of stuff was kind of like, it was hit or miss with Van Gogh. But every piece of his work is just absolutely stunning because of Van Gogh, because of him. And so, let's see. Need to build our marketing minds. Alicia says, I agree, but I'm old school. I have the outsider who is a different style than the normal style. Yeah. I've been doing, my friend. Doing great. Thank you so much. You're a unique, you, Jose, are a unique artist. Oh, thank you so much, Alicia. Appreciate that. And sometimes as artists, we have this audacity of, I'm going to create the painting and I'm just going to throw it out there. That'll get you to sell something. You might sell it, you might not sell it. It doesn't matter. It'll get you to sell something. But once you start getting people involved in the process, right, in the process of your work, and every aspect of it, it doesn't have to be organized, because you're cooking something, and it takes time. This is the aspect of branding. If you market, you'll sell. You'll sell. There's no way you're not going to sell if you market. If your artwork is, even if it's bad, you'll sell. It doesn't have to be good. You'll sell, because this is the world we live in. The world we live in is, the more you interrupt people, the more chances you have of selling something from that perspective. Okay? So this is what marketers do. They go and interrupt people. Hey, I'm over here. Come see my artwork. I created this. Do you like it? I created this. Do you like it? We do this everywhere. We do this on Etsy. We do this on Instagram. We do this on Facebook. We do this on YouTube. I created this. Do you like it? By the way, if you like it so much, click on this link. Go buy it here. That's a marketer. Okay? You're not branding there. You are branding, but you're not aware that you're branding. You're branding. You're telling people that you don't care about connecting with them. You're telling people that you are in the game of selling paintings. And like I said before, if you're in the game of selling paintings, you're in the low end of things. So selling paintings is not a good business to be in. Selling yourself, connecting with people, that's the business you want to be in. Nobody goes to Starbucks because the coffee is so damn great. We go to Starbucks because Howard Schultz, I think, is the one who started this whole fiasco, made the unfamiliar familiar, right? Made the unfamiliar familiar through a very long, hard way of marketing. All of a sudden it becomes familiar. It becomes this thing that, oh, I recognize that, right? This is how big brands do it. This is how Coca-Cola, Nike, any of the big brands, this is how they do it. You and I don't have that opportunity, at least not yet. You and I as artists, we don't have those budgets. We don't have that opportunity. You and I need to go deeper because we cannot continue to interrupt people. It's not viable. Because why? Because you need very, very deep pockets, and you need a long time to finally interrupt someone into submission. And this is something that a lot of artists out there we don't understand. We go and we create our paintings and we keep interrupting people. Hey, look, posted this on Facebook. I posted this on Facebook groups. I posted this. I'm not saying don't do it. It does work, right? It does work. People are remembering you. It does work. Small group of people are remembering you. But ultimately, that is not the goal. Ultimately, the goal is for people to raise their hand and say, who is this Jose Trujillo? And then they go and then they find out. And they watch a YouTube video, or they read a blog post, or they watch a live. They do it once and they say, this guy's kind of a fucking idiot. I'm out. Boom. And then someone else comes and watches and says, maybe what he's saying kind of resonates with me a little bit. I don't know. Then the next day, another one. The next day. Making the unfamiliar familiar. All of a sudden, before you know it, people are going to start thinking about you in a very different way. Why? Because you're becoming familiar. The reason why you only date people around your vicinity is because they are around your vicinity. How come you're not dating someone in Germany? How come you ended up dating someone around you? How come you go to the bars around you? Because your friends go to those bars. Because it's familiar. It's familiar. How come you're in the religion that you are in? How come you keep going and praying to the God that you pray? Because it's familiar. I grew up Catholic, right? It's Catholic. Christianity. Boom, 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 boom. Why? It's familiar. It's familiar. The smell of incense in a church elevates me because it brings me back to my childhood. It's familiar. It's familiar. This is what churches like Catholic Church or any branch, Christianity, any religion does this. Because your granddaddy and then your daddy and then you and even if you are not part of the congregation or the church or whatever, you still get goosebumps into certain things. You still I know people, including myself, that I'm like, yeah, I don't really consider myself Christian, but then I'll read something in the Bible and it gives me goosebumps, right? In a good way. That reminds me of my upbringing. Any of the Psalms or a lot of it. Why? Because I remember there was this familiar, right? My mother, when we woke up every morning, she had me read Psalm 5 and Psalm 23 every morning, like clockwork. Every morning, I had to get on my knees and read Psalm 5 and Psalm 23. And Psalm 23 was something that was like, it was like, this is how we started our day. We started our day with the Lord is my shepherd. Boom. And how can I not have a connection with that? How can I not have a connection with that if I did that since I was a child? How can I not have a connection with that? And so when you make the unfamiliar familiar, you connect into a deeper level. And so again, how are people not going to connect with you if you keep showing up and talking with them, right? Talking with them, getting into a conversation. Not just about my artwork. It's one of the reasons I don't make it about just my artwork. Even though a lot of people keep asking me, Jose, would you please talk more about your artwork? And people do that, but I'm choosing a different conversation. I'm doing this deliberately. I'm choosing a different conversation. This is how come I talk about, the psychology of being an artist. This is how come I talk about marketing or earning an income as an artist. This is how come I talk about, and I don't spend much time on mixing colors or brushes or those things, because I want to go deeper with you. I want people to have a connection with me the way I have a connection with someone else, with a friend. It's the same way. The way I have a connection with a friend who may be sitting next to me in my studio and maybe saying, how's your day going? And I say something like, you know what, I was thinking about this, this, and that. And then boom, there's a connection, right? As opposed to just, well, if I mix, you're going to get views because people are used to that type of sugar. You're going to get views. But if you're not sharing, this is where Gary Vee talks about the truth, sharing the truth. If you're not sharing your truth, or if you sound like someone else, right? A lot of artists do this. They're regurgitating another artist. They're saying the same thing another artist is saying or whatever. And you're not speaking your truth. If you're not speaking your truth, people are not connecting with you. They're not connecting with you. Because the way we connect is at a deeper level. We connect soul to soul. We do. I really believe this. And my artwork doesn't connect. You may say, oh, I love his artwork, but that's not what connects. What connects is you and I. That's what connects. And this is why it's so important to talk about the process, to share the process with people, to share your day. There's days that I share about things that bother me, things that bother me. This is counterintuitive to being a professional because, and I know Seth Godin wouldn't agree with me on this, because he says you have to be a professional. I hire he says I hire a plumber to do his job and not to tell me that he's got artist block, right? I want him to be a professional and do his job. But I beg to differ with Seth there. You hire a plumber because you trust them, not just because they can do their job. You may know their kids, you may know their spouse. And the more connectivity you have with that plumber, I'm willing to bet the longer that plumber is going to be in your life. The more connectivity. You might end up marrying that plumber. Who knows? The more connection there is. Because it's the connection. That the person that helps me, my handyman, the reason why he's here and he helps me with my stuff. I have a handyman who helps me with all moving stuff and cleaning high areas or whatever. The reason why is because he'll sit with me and talk to me about his problems. Not all the time, but he'll talk to me about his problems. About the difficulty that he's going through. And then we connect. There's a connection there. He's not just my handyman. He's a person that I trust. He's a person that's around me. Who I put my trust. That oh, he didn't do the job today. Okay, cool. Maybe he's not feeling well. He's going to get the job done. He'll be back. He'll do the job. Because if I wanted to just hire someone to do the job, I could hire anybody. That people don't buy your paintings because they need a painting. Nobody needs a fucking painting. This is what artists don't get. Get it in your skull, guys. Nobody needs a painting. Nobody does. If they needed a painting, they would buy it from Alibaba for $10 if they needed it. Nobody needs a painting. No one does. They want a painting and they want the connection with you. That's really what's happening. Alicia says, it's your sincerest. It's why I love hanging out with you. Oh, thank you so much. Glad I followed you today. Thank you so much. I agree with that, says Pink Heart Galore. I read somewhere the smell of something is what saved in your memory. Not exactly what I read. Yeah, well, because we connect with our senses, right? We connect with our senses. It's the smell, the touch, it's auditory, it's visual. Most artists, we're trying to connect visually only. That the reason why we can listen to a piece by Chopin or Tchaikovsky or Mozart or any of those bigwig musicians. The reason why you would listen to a piece, it's not because you are fluent in music. Now, some of you may be fluent in reading music and all that. You know what up, you listen to something and you're like, oh, that's a presto vivace, yes, soprano. You may do that, or you may listen to it and bring tears to your eyes because you start thinking about something which that song connects to, right? And you listen to it, and so the song goes beyond the song. The song touches the soul. It goes beyond being the song. The musical piece. It's no longer music. It's food for your soul. Why? Because you make a connection with it. It's only in the connections. The most valuable things in this world are the intersections. They're the intersections. Okay? Intersections are the most valuable things in this world. This is why we fight wars. Because people are going somewhere where there's an intersection. Either an intersection of resources or an intersection that one country, it's the gate to another country, or it's the gate to a route where they can exchange goods and services. It's the intersections. What makes the telephone so damn valuable? It's because it's intersecting with another telephone, right? What makes social media so valuable is because someone else. If you were the only one who had Facebook, it wouldn't be that valuable. If you were the only one who had Instagram, it wouldn't be that valuable. It makes it valuable that other people have it and you can interact with them. And it's the connection, right? It's the intersection. All things that have intersections are the most valuable. And with your art, it's the same. It's no different. If your art doesn't intersect with something else, if your art does not intersect with something else, good fucking luck. Then you're just painting. All you're doing is painting. It needs to intersect with something else. It needs to create a connection into something else. And it's to cross paths, right? It needs to cross paths. The same thing with the internet. The internet would be nothing unless you could go to intersect to another website, right? To another place. What good is it to have something if there is no connectivity? Greetings from India. Well, thank you so much. Anyways, I think I've said enough. And by the way, the connection, I believe it's not always sweet. It's not always sweet. It's not always the same. The connection is can be a little rough sometimes. You know, you as an artist, again, you can enter a conversation that is very rough, such as some of the avant-garde artists entered some very rough conversations. Right? This doesn't mean that they're sweet. This doesn't mean that they're Thomas Kinkade either. Thomas Kinkade had a sweet connection with people. Bob Ross had a sweet connection with people. It was very sweet. Right? Happy Little Trees, very sweet. Sweet Boys, very sweet. Picasso didn't have a sweet conversation. Picasso was showing us the world from a different perspective. Somewhat grotesque. Right? James Ensor, British artist, was showing us a different world, also very grotesque. You know? And the connection was different. John Singer Sargent was showing us the high class world. The connection was different. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how you do it. Some people have this idea that if I'm nice and people are gonna like me. This is not about people liking you. This is the cream of this talk. It's not about people liking you. It's about people connecting with you. Some will like you. Most won't. You think people loved Picasso when he was showing his Cubist paintings? No, it's just the smallest viable group of people where like, I see the genius in that. The rest of them thought he was fucking bananas. The way he talked too. Same thing with Salvador Dali. Same thing with Frida Kahlo. Same thing with Diego Rivera. Nobody liked him. Diego Rivera was considered a propagandist painter. You know, communist, Russian communism propagandist painter. Nothing more than that. But he had something to say. He wasn't trying to get you to like him. And today I feel like a lot of people mistake that. This is why I think this goes back to being genuine. Do I want to be respectful with people? Do I want to be honorable? Yes, but I'm not trying to get people to like me, because that is not a connection. If I wanted to get people to like me, all I have to do is, I don't know, make painting videos where I show you how to paint. Most people want to see that. And talk really nice and sweet. And do free classes, free painting classes or something like that. No, get people to like me. They're going to be like, oh my God, I love Jose, I love Jose. But that's not what I'm looking for. That's why I use the word fuck. Because if you get offended by it, right? And that you can't stomach being around me because I use the word fuck, then we've settled something already. Because I want to connect with people who connect with in a deeper level than what all of us are doing today on Instagram, which is making silly little videos and doing little painting videos and showing bright colors, and that's nice, but I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I don't think there's much connection there. Me personally, I think the surface is surface connection. I want to talk to you about my upbringing. I want to talk to you about my religious upbringing. I want to talk to you about my mother. I want to talk to you about my marriage. I want to talk to you about my artwork. I want to talk to you about, I don't know, things that piss me off in the art world, things that make me happy, my journey as an artist. That's what I want to do. Now that may not be very professional, but I'm not very professional with my friends either. Right? I'm professional in the sense that I do what I say. If you buy a painting from me, I'm going to ship it to you. But I'm not very professional with my friends, because my friends don't want someone professional. My friends want a friend. They want another friend to relate to and to talk to and to validate their existence as well. Things to make a distinction between love and connection. Yeah, absolutely. So there it is, my friends. The name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I gotta take a phone call. Peace out.